6, 2, 1, go!
And we're back. I swear, I'm not sick, guys. I swear, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Don't kick me out of the show.
Okay, well, you know.
Welcome to the show about shows number 40. We have 40. Support some out for our homies.
Let's just. Yeah, there you go. You didn't pour any, but that's all right.
Now, have you ever seen that Key and Peele skit where the guys, it's Key, and he doesn't want them to waste the 40?
Yeah.
So he's just constantly trying to drink the liquor instead. Because it is wasteful when you think about it. Like,
No.
they're dead. They don't need our expensive 40 juice.
Yeah, they do. They need all the juice they can.
We got a fun show, guys. The whole crew is here. JPO, Jordan Pierce Owens. Dutch McAllister. Whoa, fireworks.
Look,
Oh.
see? They celebrate me more than you.
Yeah, but you know who doesn't celebrate you? The editor, because you're not on screen. Oh, there you are. Dutch, you're on screen now.
Oh, we missed the. Oh, there it is. Oh, look, confetti. Woo!
And the man with the plan, the dastardly Dan, he is the aviator. Dizzle.
We're back. We made it to 40.
Y'all thought we were going to make it to 10, but we made it to 40. 'Cause we don't stop because we can't stop. Nah. Fun show for you guys today. We got multiple.
As long as we have eyesight, we'll still be going to the movies.
Yeah, I think I would still go even if I didn't have eyesight.
I'd rather have eyesight and captions.
True, but I wasn't necessarily thinking that you have the option. Sometimes things happen, Jim.
Well, if we keep on doing this pyro by my ears, maybe we went. I'll have to go the other way. But.
We got some fun movie reviews for you. We got about 5 of them. We're talking Samuel Mother Effin Jackson, our favorite films of his storied career. As I said before, I'll give you a number. That's what I counted before, give or take. It's probably not totally accurate, but it's what I counted.
It's around 190, I think.
And James is making progress with his movie aggression. He did not fight over popcorn. He didn't.
Oh, yes. We will talk about that very soon. We'll save that. Well, actually, we'll talk about that here in a couple of minutes here.
Yeah.
Anything else? You want to start? What are we doing?
We're going to start unless you want to plug something real quick.
Aviator's got a phone call he's going to take.
Yeah.
Oh, some of us have girlfriends and are in love and blah, 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 blah. And some of us only have a podcast.
And some of us are just in love with what we do. That's what I say.
All I have is a show about shows.
We all have a passion.
So don't leave me. Stay as long as you can.
What about RPW? What about that? That's your.
Oh yeah. Let's see. This will probably be out by then. Sunday, the 15th, we're at the Calusa Con. March 24th, Tuesday, we're at the Riverside Community Center. What's that? You can't make it to that? Are you in Tampa? How about April 3rd? We're going to be in Tampa at Southern Nights during Mania Weekend. What's that? You can't do that. April 19th, we're at the Millennial Brewery in Fort Myers. What's that? You can't do that. There's a date in May that I don't quite remember right now, but there's all the other dates.
Okay. So you heard it from us here. Jordan's a busy
I'll be all over.
Jordan's a busy man.
WrestleMania weekend.
When Jordan runs wild all over.
As long as it doesn't get canceled, you will see me.
Show, brother. That's what I'm gonna do.
You'll see me at Tampa Bay Pro.
Oh yeah, I dig it.
Tampa Bay Pro.
Snap into it.
Tampa Bay Pro. Alpha Omega. IPW, maybe others. Who knows? I go to Busy Mania weekend as well. But you know what? Let's just move onward, right, guys?
Let's go onward and upward.
Get it? 'Cause that's our first review here, guys. Onward, sent in suburban fantasy world, 2 teenage elf brothers embark on a quest to discover if there is still magic out there. It's kind of a not kind of blasé premise.
But you know what? I'll be honest. I went and I dug around, and the Disney site, the Disney promo site. That's where I stole that one from.
I think it's more about a request in order to get the chance to see their dad one last time, man.
Well,
that's the heart of this film.
But they didn't want to say that.
This has the voices of Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Octavia Spencer, and Mel Rodriguez, amongst others. I know I saw this with my niece. Dutch, did you ever get to see this? And I say this knowing the answer because I really want to hear about your movie-going experience.
You know me, Jordan. I have issues on occasion when I go to watch a movie. My biggest issue, though, is people with cell phones. I hate them. I think they should just be... I think that David Chappelle has it perfectly fine. Let's put it in a pouch. Let's seal it up so you can't get it until after the movie is over. That would be an awesome deal. I think most theaters should actually go with this idea, but they won't. So I was stuck in the last row. Thank God there was a lot more seats because there were some teenagers in front of me, 2 teenage girls with their brights on their show, very light, absolutely looks like that almost. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, and they're taking pictures of each other with no flash, so they didn't really have any sight of who they were at all. Even with
not
the
even
ambient
good
light.
photos.
No, they're not even good photos. And then they're looking at their Instagram, because I was actually looking over their shoulder, standing behind them, looking at their Instagram, Facebook, Twitters, even looking at
MySpace,
texting. One was texting her mom,
LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, I'm like,
Friendster.
And then finally, I just leaned over and I say, "Ladies, can you please put away your phones? The movie's already on. It's been 10 minutes. I gave you a little bit of opening here." And the first thing
Did you say all that?
I was implying that I gave him enough time.
Okay.
The movie's on. Please put your cell phone away. That's all I was asking. Very nicely, very not rude.
Last time you threw the popcorn or something?
No. That was a drunk who threw the popcorn after I told him to shh a little bit. Okay?
This is during Child's Play.
We're making progress.
Yeah, we're making progress. And so I say this to them, and then one of these snarky teens turns over and says, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm just the guy trying to ask you to please put away your cell phone." And they basically didn't do it. And I said, and I said some an expletive, probably, because that happens. I can't help this. But I did say, this is why most generations, hate your generation at this point. And I left them to their own devices because I knew I'd get a little bit more tepid.
Literally to their own devices.
Absolutely. And I walked down to the front of the theater, which happened to have regular seats available still. So I sat in one of those, and I enjoyed the movie while they were blinding everybody with their rainbow colors of their cell phone. But I don't understand this, why they allow this, or I know they allow it because no one reports it. Okay, I didn't report it.
It's not even just the reporting; it's the fact that no one enforces it either.
Yeah, and no one really, and they don't seem to care.
I don't know if you remember an actual for once, because we can go on about bad experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
From Child's Play, I had a bad experience at Sicario because they're allowed to bring little Timmy, who's like, "Why is he shooting her?"
Absolutely, yeah.
From Mission Impossible 5, where the kids are just throwing their popcorn, getting refills, wasting more popcorn, getting refills, wasting all the popcorn, so on and so forth. The one good experience that I liked at a different theater, Paragon, I think, during Purge, the manager at the back going, "Hey kids, quiet down, this is the movie."
Yeah.
And I love that. I was like, oh my God, I wish you guys were cheaper and closer. I'd come here all the time.
Yeah.
And that's just thing. And I feel like managers either A, are also shitty kind of teenagers that don't care enough, or B, are too tepid,
or they're too, or
they don't want to enforce something.
Yeah, they're afraid to lose business for their theaters.
Yeah.
Which everyone says they're struggling, but
same thing with like a bad comedy club where it's like, tell these people to not talk the entire time.
Yeah,
are you afraid that you're going to lose their beer sales? Come on.
But so I dealt with what I dealt with, but I moved on. It was a lot better of a premise than last time being assaulted almost in the theater.
No, you were technically assaulted.
Yeah, I was assaulted. I was thrown Chardonnay and popcorn and threatened by her husband and by her and her friends, and basically said, "Don't walk on the parking lot." So this was a little bit of her experience. The girls, I just left. I said, "You know what? I don't want them to go after me in the parking lot. I'm just who I am at this point." But anyway, let's talk about this. Let's talk about
There's
Onward.
a movie here,
the
too.
movie is what the point was. But I just sorry. That's my little sidetrack on this rant thing because it pops up so many times. Ladies and gentlemen, put your damn cell phones away, please. You're there. You're spending your $15 to watch a movie. There's no reason for you to waste my $15 that I'm spending.
Can we at least say let's dim them?
No.
I'm saying if you're gonna be a douche, at least don't be a major douche.
At least put your Instagram on night mode. This had white mode. This is the light night. I'm sorry. There's a way to put your dark mode on Instagram. I have it on Instagram. I have mine on my phone.
I didn't know that. I guess you're more lit AF than I am.
I have put more dark. I put dark mode on every app I have. If you have it, put it on and then dim your phone down completely. You may be okay with me, but I go after you, and you do your thing sometimes. And that's during the previews. I get all upset. I can't help it. But
I've seen the preview 100 times.
I know. But
I'm going to check my gram. No,
I'm still that way. But no, so we're talking about Onward. Let's talk about it. Let's just. Sorry about that, everybody. Onward is what we're reviewing. We talked about the premise already. What was your view on this?
All right, Onward. So it's another really brightly, well-made animated film. At least from a viewpoint, from a technicality. technical standpoint rather here. I liked it. I said to you before, some of the reviews I agree with. You have some feels. You had the brother and the lost parent feel, which is something I can unfortunately very much adapt to. So it hit me a little bit, but at the same time, I don't know if it totally earned it. I feel like other movies earned it a little bit better. This felt like one of those movies, almost like a Spies in Disguise, but better than Spies in Disguise, but to the point of there's humor and then there's a bit of heart, but it never really got to that next level for me. I like the story of the two brothers here, and I like this world even to a degree, but I don't know. I just never got there as much as some of the more the better films have. It's kind of in that middle ground for me.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on this. I looked at Octavia Spencer. To me, her character was the best out of the bunch because she showed the most change. But the Tom Holland character along with Chris Pratt, they're the brothers. Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays the mom, and then you have the boyfriend. Who is the gentleman? I can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Centaur, but
Mel Rodriguez does Dane. His name's Dane or something like that. And he's the boyfriend of the mom. Now,
I loved him on Last Man on Earth.
It felt pretty good. The movie did at first, and then it kind of bogged down a little bit. No, actually, it was bogged down in the beginning. It felt kind of like stuck in, and then it kind of opened up, and then it went backwards again. It felt like they couldn't end the film properly to me, and I felt like, oh, okay, you're going for the touchy-feely part, but you're not giving me the whole part that I would want. You know what I'm saying? The one that would make me more invested in the feeling of the ending. And I thought some of the nods to Dungeons and Dragons was pretty cool. The gelatinous cube is part of Dungeons and Dragons. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. But at the end of the day, it was not as special as most Pixar films are. And again, it's nothing against the making of this film. It's just the story wasn't as crisp as most writing they do. The animation's spot on still. But again, the story has to move me. I'll just give you my my number right here. I believe I gave it. Sorry, I have to jump over here on these notes. But I gave it a 3.5. It's watchable. It's still fun. If you were to take away everything, it's still a great family film. It just didn't hit me emotionally or spiritually as the other ones have in the past. So I gave it 3.5. It's well worth the watch. If you have
3.5.
So I gave it 3. What about you?
I gotta completely disagree with your score and give it a 3.5. I wasn't listening. What did you give it? No, I'm actually right there with you too here. I almost feel like I almost downplayed it a little bit too much here. Like I said, I think for the most part it works. It's definitely a good time at the theaters. I'd say go see it, but I don't see this one being a repeated, Blu-ray digital watch down the line. It might be for some kids, but I don't know. At least for I think the parents and whatnot, I don't think this will be one that we'll be super excited to see again and again and again. Fun time. My one, both nieces saw it. Both nieces liked it. My one niece, I think her score was 11 million out of 10, something like that.
11 million out of 10.
She liked it a lot.
That's great.
And we already have some of the McDonald's or Burger King toys or whatnot.
Oh, okay. So there you go. The next movie we're going to talk about, we're going to get a little greedy here. We're going to talk about Greed. Greed tells the story of a self-made British billionaire, Sir Richard McCready, that's Steve Coogan, whose retail empire is in crisis. It's a satire on the grotesque and inequality of wealth in the fashion industry. The film sees McCready's rise and fall through the eyes of his biographer, Nick, played by David Mitchell. This stars, of course, Steve Coogan, Eliza Fisher, Shirley Henderson, David Mitchell, and Asa Butterfield. I'm sorry. I always want to call him Butler at the end. I don't know why. But this movie has a great premise. It does show that the difference of how things are structured and how people take advantage of the workers in these other lonely areas, and so that brings a good spotlight. And they do spotlight this at the end of the credits. So stay for the credits a little bit because before they start showing that, they do show some great facts and figures about how the fashion industry basically works everyone to a bone and puts them in very bad predicaments for worker wise. But I thought Coogan's character was spot on as basically the greedy guy who doesn't care. There's refugees laying on the beach. Well, he asked the officials to get rid of them because it's not good for his party. He's having a 60th birthday party. And he doesn't want these refugees hanging around because they're going to drag the affair down. And he doesn't want somebody taking up some type of UNICEF issue, And so he's very self-centered, and it talks about the structure and he's not a very likable guy. I don't know what you thought about him, but I didn't think he was very likable in this film.
He's not meant to be, I don't think, no.
But I'm just saying about everyone else in the family they're saying, we're going to give you this and, $1.2 billion dividend to his ex-wife because that's how they're going to hold the money in Monaco. So the money in Monaco, there is no, taxes in Monaco. So you could live on a boat and never have to pay taxes on all this billions of dollars that you're siphoning and making just name equity, go down. But, and so it's a great view of how business is actually run. And how farcical the laws are about business, I was intrigued by it. It didn't do me that great, as a whole, but I was kind of intrigued by the premise, and it brought me in. It did make me laugh a couple times, but it was kind of like a shoot documentary, but with actors. Other than that, how else did you feel about this?
Now, with you wearing the same shirt a lot to the podcast, do you find parallels between your fashion world and his? Or is he more bourgeoisie?
He's one of those who would basically find my same T-shirt that I wear all the time.
And ask you to leave the party.
And I think you're one of those refugees, right?
Yeah, I think I was a refugee.
He's a nice guy. He's really bringing down the vibe.
Yeah, or he would take my shirt, right? And he would say, I want the same exact shirt, but I'm only going to pay you $1 to make it. And so instead of the $2 it might take, he's going to try to wiggle you down to 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things in which he would take advantage of the workers and the conditions and the laws of their countries. And
sounds pretty greedy to me.
Yeah, and so he would do that, and he would basically, I just found it fascinating, but not to the point where I would say rush out to watch it. But Jordan, what were you thinking when you were watching this film?
Yeah, this is one that, again, didn't really get me to that next level. Steve Coogan, great in this part. Yeah. Kind of one of those actors that I think easily elevates the script here. And that's kind of my problem here. I've kind of felt like it was just a little too scattershot, a little too all over the place. Nothing's really earned. Some stuff kind of comes from left field. Some stuff is kind of dropped. Not enough of exactly what is, Asa Butterfield doing. You know what I mean? Some weird stuff there, and then I don't really know if that got explored enough.
Oedipus he wanted his stepmother so badly in this.
Yeah, and then you got the David Mitchell character who I thought, I don't know, he played that kind of odd, and that was written kind of.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And then you talk about the end credits where they go over some facts and stuff, and it almost reminded me of The Other Guys, which also featured Steve Coogan. Yeah. I'm like, oh, is this where that movie was getting at? Like, I didn't quite, I felt like if that's what you're focusing on as like the overall, concept of the story.
I thought Steve Coogan was good though. I think
no, he's good. If anything, he definitely elevates it. I think.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it, like you said, and the Asa character was kind of creepy. Trying to hit on his stepmom was the same age.
Spoilers.
It's all right. No one's gonna watch it.
We did.
We watched it because we can. But Asa's character is a little creepy. And even his mother comments. Who's Eliza Fisher? Elsa Fisher. Decides Elsa. I said Elsa. I said first. Elsa. Whatever. Drink, and more drink.
How do you say Adina Menzel?
Adina Menzel.
No, I was trying to John Travolta.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just do it. But anyway, she goes. She's commenting to Steve Coogan's character, McCready, saying, why wouldn't he find her attractive? She's the same age as him. That's exactly what she was. She was the same.
What do you give it, Dutch?
I gave it 2.5. And like I said, I'm not going in. It's watchable. It's just, you could probably watch it at home and get the same effect.
I'm gonna bump up a little bit. I'm gonna give it 3 because I think it's worth the watch. Like you said, it's not necessarily a thing you have to rush out to. And if you got other things to do, that's fine. Yeah. But I think if you're interested in this kind of tale, if you watch that trailer, I think it's worth it enough to check out.
So, Jordan, take us back. I'm
Should I
saying
take you
all the way.
way back?
Not the way back. I don't want to go that far back.
No, that's a different movie. Although if you go to Facebook, it does show that trailer.
I love that, the way back. I love the way back, but just take us the way back.
This is the prequel to the way back.
Yeah.
Which is the way back. Or is the way back the prequel? I don't know.
The
Anyhow,
way back is the prequel.
The Way Back is about Jack Cunningham, who was a high school basketball player. He was a phenom who walked away from the game, forfeiting his future. Years later, when he reluctantly accepts a coaching job at his alma mater, he may get one last shot at redemption. This stars my boy Ben Affleck, Brendan Wilson, Al Madrigal, Geneva Gravankar, and Michaela Watkins, who was on Saturday Night Live. Remember that? She was on it for one season.
She was. Yeah.
I happened to see an old episode after
She
I
plays
watched it.
Ari's wife as well. So you know.
Who?
Ari's wife, I believe, and wasn't she Ari's wife?
An Entourage?
An Entourage.
Nope.
Yeah. That wasn't her?
Absolutely not.
You
That
sure?
was Perry, 100%. That's the guy that I see.
They look the same. I don't know.
Each episode probably twice.
Yeah, they look the same.
Not her. Yes, I'll concede to that a little bit,
It's a
but
doppelganger. I apologize.
not the same person.
But, you know, give it a better street cred.
she's also something else. I don't know. Anywho, Michaela Watkins. She's in this as a sister, and is that Ben and me? Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna do a screenshot of that later. I just want to be his friend. That's what I hope, because if you add me on Xbox Live, which you can, it's Ben space Affleck, AFWECK. I actually just got a message last night as I'm playing Halo. Someone messaged me going, "Hey, by the way, Batman v Superman sucked." Just out of nowhere. I don't even know if I played a game with that guy. If you just saw my name, but I'll get Daredevil messages all the time. Jiggly.
The worst part was one of his kids who did that. I'm not sure why. They're playing Xbox.
Hey, you dad.
Yeah, you weren't there for us. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So The Way Back. I thought this was a really well-made film. If you see any of the press issues with Ben Affleck in interviews, you can tell this is a passion project of his. You can tell this is something that, because unfortunately he has suffered from alcoholism himself. It's ended a marriage just in his character and both in real life, because of it, has played a big part in that. Yeah. And, I just thought he really well-made film here. It gets maybe a little bit repetitive at times. At the same time, I think that is alcoholism. That is that battling back and forth, that addiction here too. So it's about addiction, it's about grief. There's more you find out about the character as it goes along with some of his other relationships. Right now on screen you see the two best looking men in Hollywood. That's me and Affleck. And yeah, this thing just grabbed me. I think Javina, who played his wife, I think is fantastic. Really good in this.
I thought,
the kids, it's not really about the sport, but you got some good sports moments as well. Yeah. And by the way, anyone thinking that this is just simply, it's a redemption for the coach. It's Coach Carter or whatever.
Yeah,
it's really not.
It's not a Coach Carter film.
It's not about the game.
It's not a Hoosiers film. And what they do is they blend the sports part and his addiction part and his personal story part all together. When I say personal story, there's another side story. I don't really want to get into that, but because the two things that everyone knows, he's a coach and he's an addict at this point. But there's another part that set him off to be an addict, and I don't want to ruin that for the audience because I didn't know going in what it was all about.
No, absolutely. That's why I didn't get into it either. Just watch and find out more.
It is a special film. If you know anybody who has been an addict, who's going through addiction, you'll actually understand a little bit more. It'll feel a little bit more real to you, I believe, because it does for my end of the world. But because me, I'm going to be honest. I've been addicted to alcohol in the past. And I try to stay away from it as much as possible. I'll drink with you, but I won't drink to excess anymore. But yeah, I think it's a very special thing. This movie because it does show that he does he does hit rock bottom, and he has nowhere else to go but up. And to me, and I think it's an inspirational story for anybody who needs help. Maybe this movie will help them get that extra nudge, maybe. But yeah, to me, I think it's just a good film. Ben Affleck, he's gotten better as he gets older, I think, with his parts.
Like a fine wine, my friend.
And like I said, the characters in this film, the basketball scenes, they're great because they don't harp on them. They just I'll give you one specific. Is basically they start it, they give you a little bit of taste, and then they show the score, and then they move on with the next day.
They do that a couple of times, and I like that. I like that. Show you a glimpse of the struggle and kind of the emphasis of the scene, and then exactly like you said, you don't have to see the whole game. You'll just go, bam, that team scored, and the other team.
Brandon Wilson. The reason why I put him in the credits because I think he's going to be a good up and coming actor that you're going to see a little bit more of. Who played one of the kids whose dad told him, basketball is not his future and that stuff, even though it is.
I like the kid who gets kicked off the team.
Yeah, I thought his character
I think
was
he's
okay.
got because he was also on a show that I really liked, so I think he's got potential.
Well, it's possible. I didn't. I apologize. If I would have known, I would have added him to the list. But yeah, I just thought to me this kid has something. I like to see it. A little bit more of him in the future in other projects. We may. I don't really know what his characters, what is going on. But all in all,
and the dad from Wonder Years in one scene.
But the film, man, it is good. I enjoyed it. I think you
get that off screen, dude.
And I think it will be great. I think it'll be great at the end of the day. But for anybody who wanted to watch it, we saw a lot of people going to watch that film after we left. So basically, the way back in my grading is a 4 out of 5. It didn't make it to the 5, 4.5 didn't make it, but a 4. I'll give it a 4.
I don't like episodes where we agree too much because 4. Okay. Yeah, I give it. It's a solid 4. It's a solid 4 for me. Like I said, I don't know if it's groundbreaking, but it's a well made film. I think it's shot well as well. I forgot the director's name, Gavin O'Connor, maybe. But he did Warrior, which I loved.
Yeah.
Accountant, which I think one of my 10 favorite films of that year with Affleck. So he's worked with Affleck before. So I think it's a director to watch. Yeah. And I think this is a movie to watch.
What I liked about The Accountant is, Ben Affleck's character, of course, he has autism or whatever. But the thing is, what I liked about it was he showed me that I didn't have to have a lot of dishes in my house. Just one plate, one fork, one knife, one spoon, and one glass. I can't do it. I've tried it. But the point is, I would like to live that simple. So I was thinking maybe,
Of all the takeaways, I had to think, okay, I guess that is.
Of all the takeaways I have, it's just one plate, one fork, one spoon. But yeah, it was a good movie too. The next one, I'm going to take you back in time. I'm going to take you a little further back than your way back. It's Emma, Jane Austen's beloved comedy about finding your equal and earning your happy ending. Handsome and clever and rich Emma Woodhouse is a restless, quote, queen bee without rivals in her sleepy little English town. In this glittering satire of social class, Emma must navigate her way through the challenges of growing up, misguided matches, and romantic missteps to realize that love has been there all along. This has a girl who played Emma was Anna Taylor-Joy, Johnny Flynn, Bill Nye, and it's not Bill Nye, is it? Yeah, Nye or something like that. Nye, yeah. I'm awful with that last name. And Mia Goth. And to me, I was the only one in this film, by the way.
I saw it.
She wanted to watch it? She liked it?
She liked what? No, she didn't like it.
Really?
Nope, she didn't like it.
Oh, see, I went to watch. I was at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was part of my big movie marathon day that I decided to make for myself. I saw 4 in one day. I couldn't get that 5th one in, though. I was very upset. But I got to tell you, though, to me, I enjoyed this film. It made me laugh. It was just a great, sweet rendition of this film. The last one that we saw, if I'm not mistaken, was with Gwyneth Paltrow. It was fair. It wasn't great. I think this was a good take on this old timey classic.
Emma, Jim Bonero.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this one though is pretty good. Johnny Flynn plays the love interest, of course, with Emma, and I think they have great chemistry together on scene. The dad was played by Bill Nye. And he was just hilarious. I mean, his character is always wondering, is there a draft? Is there a draft in the room? They're always, he's always so worried about, death, coming to him so early, and you're like, oh my goodness. But yeah, but Emma's character, Mia Goth plays her friend as well. I can't remember her name off the top, but and she's just a delight to watch on the screen as well. I loved it. Literally, and I was like, wow. When it was over, I was okay with it being over, but I really did enjoy it. It didn't get 4. Okay, I'm going to say this, but it's a well enjoyable film if you ever want to watch it. It's 3.5 is what I gave it. It's well worth the time to watch it.
I hate to say it. I hear Jane Austen, and I check out.
Well, you should just look at her. You know, I think Sense and Sensibility. I think she did that one too, if I'm not mistaken.
Another movie I have no interest in.
But you know, we're
It was she Pride and Prejudice.
I don't
Why do
remember.
you check out?
You
I
know.
just when you like from the old time where everyone was in nice dresses and there was proper and I
But
just
it's
check out.
fantastic because
Well,
they don't
that's
act
the
that way
premise.
though. That was what was so funny is that these are characters that don't act the norm.
I admit sometimes they end up being really good movies that surprise me. Just it takes a lot for me to actually make that jump because it just.
Oh no, I understand, but yeah, I enjoyed it. 3.5. It almost made a 4, but again, you know, it's just 3.5 is a safe bet, and it's very well worth watching. If you happen to be in the neighborhood to watch it in the theater, go ahead and do it. Let's do it.
Cut to me.
What are you doing?
Cut to me, Dizzle.
What's going on?
Hard when you're not there. I can't see which one it is.
I
The
can't
next
see
movie is The Invisible Man.
What? Where are you, Jordan? Jordan,
When
where are
Cecilia's
you, buddy?
abusive ex takes his own life and leaves her his fortune, she suspects his death was a hoax. As a series of coincidences turn lethal, Cecilia works to prove that she is being hunted by someone nobody can see.
Oh dear God! Can you go away again? It was frightful.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
This stars Elizabeth Moss, Aldous Hodge, Storm Reed, Harriet Dyer, Michael Dorman, and Oliver Jackson Cohen. I'm gonna disappear again.
A nice Blumhouse. It was Blumhouse? Blumhouse?
Yes.
Well, I can't remember. Yeah, Blumhouse. We got to be a Blumhouse.
It hurts to been that far over for too long. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this. Ever since the trailer, I thought, okay, this is a reimagining, a rebooting, if you will, however you want to say it, that I can buy into. Okay, you take Invisible Man and you make it more or less a horror. Is this guy truly stalking her? Is it in her mind? You see from the trailer, no, this dude's stalking her.
This is what Universal wanted to do for their monster movies, you know, because they wanted to bring back the Invisible Man. They couldn't do it. Blumhouse comes back, knocks it out of the park.
Absolutely. Well, they tried with The Mummy. Everyone didn't like that for the most part, including me.
I enjoyed it a little bit.
To a large degree. It's okay. It's a solid 2.
Dizzle told me it was a 5-star
Dizzle.
Tom Cruise film.
Dizzle, have we done the top 10 Tom Cruise films?
I believe we did. Yes.
Okay, because wouldn't be surprised if Dizzle's on my top 10 is everything.
No. I can't remember.
But I've liked this premise, and I thought this was very executed well. Blumhouse has a bit of now an off record sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
But when they're on and they're correct, it's good.
If you want to make a movie for cheap, this is how they do it. $7 million.
I think this was Lee Winnell directed this, who's got a horror past as well, and I think he's starting to really pick up steam too himself.
He just
as
signed to
director.
do something with Universal Studios. The writer of this just decided to do
I
something.
mean, hey, this is being
He's bringing back their monsters. Dracula, I believe.
well reviewed and making money. That's what studios like. What more do you want?
He's just putting more money in the coffer.
Tomato meter and box office are up. You're probably going to get a job, and that's what's happening with him here. And Elizabeth Moss, who, man, she has some guy problems. The Kitchen, Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss can't get a good boyfriend to save her life. Anywho,
Especially with Mad Men as well. She couldn't find a nice dude in there.
does she end up nice in Mad Men? I don't know.
Yeah, and she goes off a married man earlier in that one, and hell breaks loose in that one.
But hey, I just thought there's enough fun stuff. There's the big, as you just saw. I don't know if it was on you or not just now. Okay. I get confused about these camera takes.
Right, yeah.
But the insane asylum scene where he goes through to try to get to her and whatnot. So there's a lot of fun set pieces here. If you can, try to avoid repeated trailers. See that first trailer maybe if you're on the edge. Don't watch the other trailers if you can. But otherwise, I thought this thing succeeded and I had fun.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Going into it, I was really trepidatious about coming to this film. You know that. I was like,
yeah, it was more me than you.
Yeah, and I was like, well, fine, I'll go watch it. Fine, I'll go watch it. And we went to watch it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I went in with a very open mind. Sometimes I have to just purge myself of any pre-thoughts. And I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And I got to tell you, Elizabeth Moss put in a hell of a performance as a battered wife, basically, in this film. And, if we don't have any real proof that she was battered, but we know she was mentally battered, if any. and that's worse, I think, than sometimes physical battery. I'm not going to make any difference. Domestic abuse is domestic abuse nonetheless. But yeah, I found everyone's performance in it. Storm Reed, she's coming off of that Time Glass movie just recently, and a few other things. I don't know if that was
Time Blast.
The Witches in the Time Glass. I don't know. It's whenever looking for her dad. It was in the Disney films anyway with Oprah. She was in that one. I went to watch that. You didn't. But yeah, everyone in this film did a great job. I believe Oliver Jackson Cohen,
who doesn't have much till the end almost.
But when you see him, he plays a great creep.
He has like 2 scenes that it's very pivotal to work, and he works it.
Yeah, and even Michael Dorham is good as well. And
who's that?
I believe it was his brother, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I
like Aldous Hodge too.
Yeah, and I thought that's what I'm saying. The whole cast, they put it together well, and it's it gets you on pins and needles. Really, it's a good pins and needles type show. Because there was a scene, I'm not going to talk about it. I'll tell you after the show tell you which one I'm talking about, where it caught me so off guard. I was like, what the hell, and I was not even expecting
the scene in the gym with Craig Robinson.
No, that's not. I don't remember the scene in the gym, but I remember the bathroom scene.
Remember, Steve Carell pops up. He's like, "Hey, who's invisible?" And then,
Gilbert Godfrey shows up. No, just playing. Anyway,
who's invisible?
One time I was in L.A. and I was sitting in the bookstore, and this is 20 years ago. And then all of a sudden, the girl I was with says, "That guy you like on USA Up All Night just walked right behind you." And then I walked over, and sure enough, Gilbert Godfrey was right there.
See, everyone has a Gilbert Godfrey story but me.
Nice. I don't have one.
Okay, well, 2 people don't have it then. But no, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a very, like I said, it was on pins and needles on some things. It was almost like the Kirsten Stewart movie we watched. I went in with a bad thought. And underwater, was it water or underwater or something?
Underwater
like
that?
Yeah. But I gave it. I'm going to give it the same thing. I think I gave that 3.5. I gave it 3.5.
Second time today, I'm going to bump up a little bit more than you. I give it a 4. I think you're now. I actually will fight you for the first time on this show, even though it's only half a point. I think it's a solid 4. My only trepidation is I don't love the ending. I don't know if it totally fit where they were going with that character and everything.
I know. We can't talk about that ending.
Exactly. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just saying I didn't love the ending, so that held me off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's a well-made film.
Maybe
I think this is a theater film.
Maybe that's where
if you get a good, respective audience, it's a good theater film. So
go watch it.
The Invisible Man, a 4.
I give it a 4. I liked it a lot.
And I gave it a 3.5.
This met, if not surpassed, my expectations.
Yeah, and coming from already a negative place, 3.5 is a lot better than I came from. You know what I'm saying? I was already wanting to give it like nothing, but it came out to be something. So that's always a good thing. So we are now turning our page. Turn the page. There we go. We just turned it.
You want me to turn the page?
Top 5. Samuel L.
And I'll turn it right back.
MNFer Jackson.
I'm sick of these mother-loving critics on this Monday to Friday plane.
Absolutely. I love Samuel L. Jackson. So I thought to ourselves, let's watch them. Let's watch. We've watched these Jackson films. Let's give him some due. So top 5 Samuel L. Jackson films. We have top 10 technically, but we're only going to gloss over the bottom 5. But Jordan, I'm going to let you go first because I don't know. Just won't have you down going first. I think so.
All right, so Samuel L. Jackson, we know him, we love him. Very dispersed actor as far as like he could be the lead to a co-star to a cameo. You never know what he's going to do in your films. Yeah. Been around for quite a while now, dating back to the 80s if not 70s.
Yeah.
I try to do a quick count just for funsies. I counted about 145 appearances. Yeah. For the most part, we didn't do any cameos, so you're not going to see like Kill Bill or Infinity War on these lists, but these are things where at least he had a co-starring role in. At least that's where I went with it.
I may have one that could be suspect, but I think he was in it just a little bit enough to say, hey, that guy can act.
That guy. All right, man.
Yeah.
I look forward to your list.
Okay, we were going through the credits. I'm just going to say this right now. We were going through the credits. Sea of Love. We were talking. Yeah. That's Al Pacino, and I can't remember her name who was with him, but he was credited as the black guy. So I don't know how many black guys they had in that film, but I'm just saying that's kind of the worst.
It's him, evidently.
That's got to be the worst credit I've ever heard of. But he was in A Sea of Love, which was a decent movie.
Never saw it or heard of it. I don't know what that
It's
is.
a very good movie. It's in the 90s. Look it up.
So my top 10 Samuel L. Jackson films, my number 10, 1408. Number 9, Unbreakable. Number 8, The Hateful Eight. I didn't do that on purpose. Number 7, Jackie Brown. Number 6, Django Unchained. And my number 5 on the list is Kingsman Secret Service. The first one, obviously, where he is the villain who loves himself McDonald's.
Oh, he loves his Big Macs.
I might get a McChicken after this, personally, plain. But this was a fun, unique film that came out. I'm blanking on the director's name, but it's the guy that did Kick-Ass and also helped revive X-Men until it died off again with First Class. Yeah. Matthew Vaughn. I knew if I talked long enough, I'd remember his name. And just a fun take on the spy genre. Very R-rated for both sexuality and then violence. There's a crazy scene that some people don't like with Liam Neeson in the church.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's well choreographed.
Not Liam Neeson, Colin Firth.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. I said Liam Neeson.
Woo!
My bad.
Hey, how many times do I get to correct some people?
And yeah, and that's him from a previous mention of mine on Unbreakable. Actually, that's probably him from Glass. I don't know.
It looks like him.
Glass, most certainly not on this list. That might be one of my top 10 disappointed. Not worst films, but disappointed if we ever do that list. Is Glass. But yeah, I just thought Kingsman was such a blast. Had so much fun with it. He's part of the fun. He's doing a certain kind of like lisper accent with the character, if I remember correctly.
He has like a Mike Tyson lisp. Almost.
He's one of those. He walked that perfect line of you hated him, but you kind of enjoyed him as well too, because it's Sam Jackson having fun, even though he's shooting people in the head and causing all sorts of chaos. Yeah. So Kingsman, my number 5 for motherfucking Jackson.
Well, I thought we
got demonetized.
I thought we were just gonna keep it clean, buddy.
I had to say it once,
but don't worry, I'll break it for us. Anywho, I gotta tell you the movies that I got here, my honorable mentions. Number 10 comes in. I'm gonna put both The Incredibles together. Number 9, the most recent Shaft. Number 8, The Legend of Tarzan. Number 7, The Negotiator. Yeah, I'm going Kevin Spacey with that one. And number 6, Juice. Okay, with Tupac.
none of those are on my list. So
yeah. And my number 5, and I just like it. It's so great. Black Snake Moan with Christina Ricci. As basically he's trying to save this woman from being the devil, in his mind. She's the devil, and he's trying to get her free, and he's trying to help her. He's a bluesman. He's happy. He's a good guy. You can tell he's a good guy. He just doesn't know how to treat Christina on this one, where he basically locks her up to a heating vent, I believe, or a heating element or something. He chains her up basically, and he's just trying to get the devil out of her. And I just love it. It's just a great film, and it showed me that he was more than just a one-trick pony for acting. And I just love Black Snake Moan. If you haven't seen it, you got to get to it.
It might have been my 11th. I definitely had it on the short list.
Yeah, but
I kind of had to swipe it off towards the end.
Man, if I only had 5 to choose, that was my 5th out of the bunch.
It's a unique film too. Like definitely stands out. It's not your average film. Fun fact: I had the poster in my room.
I had a poster of that too, my friend.
I wanted the Christina Ricci side facing front, but I knew my mom would rip it down, so I had to have Samuel L. Jackson, which was a fine, suitable replacement because he is a badass.
Fun fact.
But on the other side, in my mind, I knew was good old Christina Ricci.
Justin Timberlake's first movie, I believe. So
definitely his first meaty role, I think. Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's a very big first movie, so that's always a good thing. What did you got for number 4, my friend?
Number 4. Well, Dizzle, do you have a list, my friend?
What do you got? I'll put it together here. Go ahead. All
right. Yeah. Try to jump back in. I'll do it quick though, because we're already on number 4. You mentioned this before. I'll kind of group them together as well, or say the first one. Incredibles. This is definitely a top 5 for me, man. It's such a well-made film. It stayed in everyone's conscience for so long that we finally got a sequel, which is pretty good as well and a lot of fun here.
And it was more Samuel L. Jackson in that one, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, arguably. Maybe I'd have to find it out. Maybe, and we might talk about this later, actually. I did see a list earlier of all the Batman films and how much Batman was actually in them, and it might surprise you. But some of them, I'll let you know what the number 1 least Batman movie was later if you want. But yeah, so I just thought, and he's fun in this too. Woman, where's my super suit or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's got some funny stuff in this too. As the best friend, also a superhero, splices him in, and even in cartoon world, it just shows that, man, even a little Sam Jackson can be some great Sam Jackson. So
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. You got number 4. You had it in your honorable mentions, but Jackie Brown. It was a good movie. You know what? I don't like Tarantino much. You know that. I'm not a very big, humongous fan of Tarantino. But for some reason, he plays that great. Robert De Niro.
my honorable mentions.
I believe Robert De Niro is on in the scenes with him too.
My honorable mentions was like half Tarantino.
I noticed that, but yeah, but I think Robert De Niro was in Jackie Brown, I believe too, and they both played well with each other. And his just character alone, I loved was a red hair, something like red black hair. He had a low ponytail in the back. And he just played a real gangster type guy, and I liked him. It just something about him. He oozes charisma. Even a bad guy, you kind of like him still. There's something about Samuel L. Jackson that you love, and that to me in this film, he showed why I like him a little bit as a criminal in just his mind. So
yeah, fun film. Sometimes overlooked when people think of Tarantino. Yeah. It's a dang fine film. It's definitely
yeah. So Dizzle, did you come up with a number 5 or?
You got a 5 and a 4?
My 4 is going to be.
What's your 5?
What's your 5?
I'll do Django Unchained.
Okay.
All right. What's your 4?
What's your 4?
Do the Right Thing.
Do the Right Thing. Yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed that one.
I just love it. Growing up and him being that DJ and stuff, that was cool.
Yeah.
My number 3 is the Avengers. Nick Fury, baby. Man, one of the biggest pops I had in the theater, and the theater agreed with me, was that first Iron Man movie, having no idea if there even was a post-credit scene, but we're all just sticking around just in case, because we're nerds, and then Samuel L. Jackson pops up with an eye patch, and we all know what's up. It's not David Hasselhoff anymore.
What?
It's Samuel Jackson.
When did this happen?
As Nick Fury, and he talks about...
Did you not know that it was not David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury?
No.
What the hell? When did this happen?
Oh my God.
Jesus!
Don't give this guy popcorn.
God!
Yeah.
My childhood, what the hell?
Put your cell phone away, Jordan.
I was going to say,
He's hot.
if you're ever in the same theater, there are dogs barking right now.
Dogs are barking at the
Freaking the freak out.
Dogs are running away.
I didn't even need a microphone, I think.
Talking about Hasselhoff.
Yeah, they're all for the half. No, I love Nick Fury, as he is now.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go with this. What was I talking about?
talking
Yeah,
about
Avengers.
Avengers
Super
or
fun film.
something,
Let's
yeah.
move on. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first Avengers, so much fun here. Obviously, it's a super big cast here, but he's definitely part of it. And he's been spliced in, at least for a tiny bit in every movie. He's got a good part in Civil War. Captain Marvel, even, you could say like it's almost like a buddy film between him and Marvel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it started off many films with Nick Fury. People even saying maybe get his own movie or get his own TV show. I'm sure no one will really be against it, but yeah, Avengers, that first one directed by and written by Joss Whedon of Buffy fame, fantastic.
Hey, regarding his performance right there, what would you give that screenplay right there for originality? Would you give that as a
for
number
improv.
one being high? Would you give that a
That's
3?
so confusing. Can 10 be high?
10 can be high.
Okay,
Yeah, 10
whenever you do that confuses me.
10
Now, wait, you're
10
going
is
by
great.
like performance, or you said originality?
Originality first.
That's a hard one. Originality? I mean,
I feel like I'm in Star Search all of a sudden. Ed McMahon's gonna
I
come
give it
out
a
pretty soon.
7.2.
7.2 originality.
That's
What
good.
about
Yeah.
performance?
Performance is pretty spot on. His face, the level, I'd give that an 8.7.
Oh, there you go. See, I'm almost like the Ben Affleck of this room.
Now,
I think we got 10 out of 10.
what about the costume? You gonna take that low?
It's the same one every
same,
Yeah, it fits the kind of character that would be mad about Hasselhoff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, 8.9.
There you go. See, that's what happens when you wear the same thing. Because I like continuity. I just want people to think: is that the last show, or is that the same show?
they have no
Is that
idea.
the same show? I got to keep looking at it. You guys can change all you want. I'm not.
Now, what would you give the cinematographer for that one, who was working that in the background?
Well, these cameras aren't very HD.
But we like grain. We like grain.
We taped on VHSs, so I got to give that a 4.3.
But you know what though? We got good audio.
Yes, audio's a 7.9.
My number 3 film. We're back on track with number 3 with you had Avengers as your number 3. My number 3 is King Kong Skull Island. I enjoyed this one out of a bunch, and this is the one that's kicked off the Godzilla and the King Kongs, the Monarch storyline that we're all going to come see later on this summer. We're gonna have Godzilla versus King Kong this summer. I can't wait for it. It's been great. Monarch, everyone loves it. But
I don't know about everyone.
Oh, come on. Anyway, everyone's been wanting to see this, and they're going to finally get to it, my friend. If it not come out this year, it might come out next year. I can't remember. It may be next year, but I can't wait. It feels like it should come out this year because why not? I want it. That's why.
It should come out because I want it to. It's basically
I'm
what
part
you
of the
just said.
generation me. But yeah, in this film, he plays a crazy, like Vietnam dude. Because it is during that period in which he doesn't want to take no for an answer. He wants to kill King Kong because he just killed everybody. But it was his fault that everyone wanted. King Kong wants to be dead, and so and why King Kong goes after him is because he just. He tried to kill him. I'm sorry. I would hold a grudge too, so I'd come and kill you. But then he wants to, have revenge for his fallen soldiers. But he's just a guy who's just off the rails in this film. And I like I said, maybe it's me. I just like King Kong and I like the movie, and he happened to be in it. It's possible.
I like the movie as well. It almost made my short list, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think it just quite cracked it for
Tom
me.
Middleton's in it. Your Loki's in
It's
it.
It's a fun movie. Don't get me wrong.
John Goodman.
And actually, that one in a way met, if not surpassed expectations. But I don't know, for a top 10, it didn't quite get there. But no, not a bad one. Yeah. I enjoyed it as well. And I do look forward to Kong v. Godzilla. I forgot his name all of a sudden. Dizzle, what you got for 3?
I'll do as a tie for Jackie Brown and King Kong. I forgot about King Kong, but it's up there. So I'll do a tie right there for number 3.
No, we'll take it.
I won't take it. My number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring you to a world where dinosaurs are freaking alive, and you need to hold on to your butts.
There's dinosaurs and they're alive?
Jurassic World. Or Jurassic Park, rather.
Jurassic Park, thank you.
He's not in Jurassic World, although he should be. Like,
he
should show up in Jurassic World and be like, I thought you died. He just missing an arm. Like, nah, man. Like, they can bite my arm off. I can still live.
I've been hiding for years. Finally, you found me. What's going on?
You would do it. Jurassic Park, come on. Like, come on. It's such a wonderful film. It is something that if you throw on the USA channel that's showing it today, you will still stop and watch so many of the scenes for the 90th time just because it's so well made. The effects somehow still hold up, if not look better than some of the more recent effects they've done.
Practical effects are always good.
Love me some practical, man. Give me some practical. Directed by Spielberg. Got the awesome, like I said, very much a co-star, kind of a smaller part, but it's still such a damn fine film. It could not be in my top 5 films. So Jurassic Park. It's the reason why we're still trying to this day, and we got the Jurassic World coming out later this year or next year.
Well, my number, what is it? Number 2. Well,
number 2.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on these motherfucking plane. You said it earlier. I broke the damn wall down.
I'm not mad about the cursing. What's your number 2?
That's what it is. Snakes on a plane. That's what I've done. Number 2 is my Snakes on a Plane. I love it. I can't wait. I've watched it probably about over a dozen times. And you switch it over to me. Get that sumbitch off the goddamn TV. I'm telling you this right now. I love Snakes on a Plane. I wish they'd have a sequel, more Snakes on a Plane, because I just loved it.
I would love if that was the name of it.
Yes, it would be fun.
Even more
because
Snakes on a Plane.
They knew what they were making when they made the movie, and I just thought it was a great way of just, you could put some things on a plane, and snakes would be the thing that I would hate to be on a plane with, other than, Jordan. But, there's a lot of other things like snakes and Jordan and maybe cockroaches. But, I'll just say Snakes on a Plane is a fun film. It's just very thin plot. I understand it is. It's a B movie, but at an A quality. And it's rewatchable over and over. I own it. And I do watch it on a very rare occasion nowadays, but I have watched it over a dozen times, and I vouch for my number 2 film, Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane,
The
Jim.
Hateful Eight. Or my number 2.
Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah. What's so wrong with Snakes on a Plane?
The man is, I mean, Lakeview Terrace should have been on it over Snakes on the Plane.
Where? Who?
Lakeview
Lakeview
Soul
Terrace?
Men.
Yeah, no.
No. I don't think
No.
he's in that, but sure.
But no, I'm just saying.
It's not a good movie. It's
You
a
may
fun
not think.
throwaway
It's what it
movie.
is. It's a fun movie.
But it's not the top.
It is the top 2 in my mind. It is in the top 2. I enjoyed him.
Number 1.
You know what? This is what's so great about us. We're allowed to, hate each other for our movie choices.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Get on the Medea chair.
Yeah, if we had Medea,
My
they'd
number
agree.
1, and I think I've talked about this movie before,
He's
but that's
listening
because we do
intently.
top 10s, and sometimes greatness bleeds over. And here it does, as Samuel Jackson plays Jules in Pulp Fiction.
Ugh.
See, this guy right here.
Another Tarantino. My God, how many
Yeah,
is that? How's that
God
many?
forbid I have one of the best writer-directors on the list. Okay.
I do like that role.
Pulp
but-
Fiction, which I recently rewatched. So good, so pulpy. Wait, what? Samuel Jackson's he's fantastic in it. He of course has cheeseburger discussion, the foot rubbing, even to the very end of the scene between him and Tim Roth, and Keep It Cool.
You want to
and
do
the
that? You want
wallet.
to do that scene?
If buy me that wallet for Christmas one day,
Do you want to do that scene at the end?
sure.
Okay, you start it.
I don't know what to say. I don't remember the scene about it.
He's talking about, now go in there and get my wallet. And you go, how will I know what your wallet is?
You'll know.
How will I know?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I can't do
Oh,
the
well,
scene.
I thought you loved this movie. Now,
I do love the movie
because it says bad mother effer on it. And he goes, okay, and you pull it out, and take that money as $1,800 or whatever it is, or more than you probably could get in this little cash little hole, and then like that. But I love it whenever he's like this. He goes, tell the bitch to be cool, like that. I love it. And he's like, honey, be cool, like that. And say, bitch, be cool, be cool. There's some scenes in there. I liked his performance. I love the movie. Because it was, I still remember, whenever Ving Rhames is getting, assaulted in this film, and then, and then they get out of it. I in that part where he goes, I'm going to get medieval on their ass or whatever. I laughed, and no one else.
Remember the part where Ving Rhames goes, "We have the meats."
No, that wasn't him.
Oh, sorry.
No, that was somebody else. That was another guy, David Lee, I believe. But
What?
I think that's the actor, David Lee, I believe.
No, David Keith. No, it's Ving
David
Rhames
Keith,
in the
David
Arby's
Keith.
commercials.
No, it isn't. Is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It sounds like David Keith.
No, first of all, it's Keith David. David
Keith
Keith is
David?
the white guy.
I'm getting.
There's David Keith and a Keith David. No,
I said David Lee, too.
Keith David
I
from
just-
The Thing
Yeah.
and They Live.
Yeah.
No, that's freaking Ving Rhames.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay then.
The
Yeah.
more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. But yeah, I agree. That's a nice one. The quarter pounder with cheese scene is pretty good. And then, but,
Jim, enlighten me. Enlighten me. And so what your number 1 is?
my number 1 is not Pulp Fiction.
We know that.
How did that? Pulp Fiction is probably 11.
Oh, God. Fucking 11.
Yeah, 11. Well, anyway, my number 1, and it's a go-to movie when I'm feeling blue because this is a great movie. Die Hard with a Vengeance. I love Zeus. Give me some Zeus. And as soon as he meets him, he'll, like Zeus, lightning bolt in your ass, Zeus, and they have to go around and they have to figure out all these riddles. Yeah, it's not the most favorite one because Jeremy Irons as well, and he plays a great Hans Gruber brother. But the point is that I just love the movie, the whole chemistry between him and Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. They are a great team, and that's why I think Unbreakable was a good movie because they have a great rapport, even when they're in the scenes together, and I think that's what's important. And those two in that movie to me was the epitome of a great buddy film, and I wanted to see more from them. In future films, but they never did really. So, because one became, exiled for making decent movies, and the other one just kept making movies. And now, and you pick your two, and it's probably Bruce Willis is the one who's been exiled to making other movies, while the other one keeps making good standard movies. But yeah, I enjoy Samuel Jackson in that film. My favorite. What's your number one there, B-Diz?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah, this man knows what's up.
Yeah.
Dizzle for the win.
Loving a front runner, I
FTW.
guess. Loving a front runner.
I like Die Hard. It's probably my number 12. I would admit that if the only way I would get excited about a new Die Hard with Bruce Willis is if they casted him again.
Yeah, with Zeus, yeah.
So it's a fun film.
And have
It's-
Kevin
it's-
Smith
it almost
direct
got
it.
in there. What? Nah, get out of here.
No, I'm just messing. No, I'm just saying because he wouldn't work with
Yeah, no.
Bruce. But
Cop out.
so that is it. You want to do a quick recap? We'll be good.
Go, buddy, go.
Okay, my number. I'll just do my top 5 because I don't want to go through all my tops. But number 5 is Black Snake Moan. Number 4 is Jackie Brown. Number 3 is Kong Skull Island. Number 2, Snakes on a Plane. And number 1, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Dizzle, do you have your 5 in front of you?
Django, Do the Right Thing. Jackie Brown, King Kong, Hateful Eight, and Pulp Fiction.
There you go.
That was a 6.
Well,
My number 5 is Kingsman, Secret Service. Number 4, The Incredibles. Number 3, The Avengers. Number 2, The Jurassic Park. And number 1, The Pulp Fiction.
There you go. Watch them, enjoy them. They're out there. To
I'm
be
sure
seen.
you've seen most of these.
Well, some people haven't. Some people haven't seen Pulp Fiction.
I understand.
weird.
I said it. I'm sure, probably.
Weird.
Yeah, I
I
can
don't
guarantee
know.
it.
But if you haven't seen Snakes on a Plane, I recommend it highly.
I recommend you do what James probably did, which is have some edibles and just have a fun time at your house.
No. I watched that with my mom, and my mom enjoyed that film.
And your mom loves it. I met your mom. Nice lady.
Yeah, I know. She said, and she says, I want a restraining order as soon as I met him. But yeah, so there we go. We got our top 5 Samuel Jackson films. Who knows what we're going to do next week? I don't know, but I'm fine with it.
Deja Vu.
But-
Heck yeah.
Look,
Party on.
We keep
Rock
trying to
out.
bring that in, but no one does the work. We might bring it
Just
in.
like saying it.
Yeah, I know. We'll just bring it in just to say it.
Deja Vu.
My favorite part of the
Heck
show.
Yeah.
It's always
Party
my
on.
favorite because I don't have to talk as much. My favorite part of the show is Jordan talking and me just interrupting him whenever I get a chance. It's called News and Notable Stuff. Notable Stuff.
Welcome to News and Notables. It is March
Notable
something
stuff.
2020. Let's talk about the box office from the weekend of March 6th through the 8th. At number 5, Call of the Wild is still hanging on. Made another $6 million in its third week, bringing that to $57 million. At number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog made $7 million in its fourth week, bringing that to $140 million. At number 3, my boy Ben Affleck made $8 million for the way back in its debut week. At number 2, The Invisible Man sneakily got $15 million in its second week, for bringing that to $52 million. And at number 1, it's the debut of Onward, making $39 million.
Woo!
And a follow-up to a story that Dutch broke to me personally, not on the show. Jason Statham left the movie Man from Toronto, co-starring Kevin Hart. He left it weeks before the project was about to begin, and he's been replaced by Woody Harrelson.
I was going to say, do you know who? What? I knew that.
Not only that, but now the more recent news than that is he has left his reps. Man, Statham was not happy about something.
Whoa, something happened there. I mean, I would like to know, the fly on the wall, was it The Rock who said, hey, you might want to talk to your people? I don't know, because supposedly they're friends, him and Statham and him and Hart.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a weird little thing going on there.
Something happened in the pre-production of this where Statham was somewhat happy that not only did he quit this movie weeks before it was about to begin production,
Killing his reps at the same time.
He's throwing away some of his reps too. So
Kung Fu fighting his reps away.
Emily Blunt says she also hopes to do a sequel. Whoa! Sorry, the way he's editing this is funny. A sequel to Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Who'd you
The director's
cast?
on set as well. But unfortunately, talks of a sequel have, of course, lived, died, and repeated.
Oh.
So, much like Cruise's character. So, we'll see. Nothing official has really been said as far as the schedule or as far as them, signing any contracts. So, but Blunt wants to do it. Cruise wants to do it. The director wants to do it. Let's freaking do it. I love that
and
movie.
don't forget, you can always see Emily Blunt in The Quiet Place 2 and Jungle Cruise coming out soon.
Quiet Place 2, and also in other news, Emily Blunt has said that John Krasinski's already developing ideas for A Quiet Place 3.
Yeah. Hey, can I
What
throw
you gotta do?
Can I throw in something?
Throw it on in, baby.
Breaking news, not really. But Harvey Weinstein sentenced to 23 years for sexual assault at Rikers Island. Yes, 23
Ooh.
years. He's going to probably be dead in 10, or less than 10, but I have the over-under at 3. Anyway.
A guy named Bubba's going to go, hey, want to audition?
Yeah. You want to play a part in the prison play? It's called I Bang You Softly. Anyway.
Who wrote that over-under joke?
What?
Who wrote that over-under joke for you?
I wrote myself the over-under 3, but, I say 3, under 3.
But in some surprising news, Vin Diesel still says that there's talks of a sequel to The Last Witch Hunter is in the works. This is surprising considering people didn't think this was happening. This movie came out a few years ago, didn't really set the world on fire. I thought it was very mediocre, didn't make much money, but he's saying he's talking to the studio and they're willing to do it. I guess if anyone could do it, it's Vin Diesel. You know, he got that Triple X sequel years later. You got that Riddick sequel years apart. So sometimes it takes about a decade, but Diesel usually does get his sequel, doesn't he?
Yeah, it comes around. It comes around. You know.
Speaking of Diesel, he's also confirmed that the Guardians will appear in Thor 4: Love and Thunder.
So he's just going to get paid a lot more money to say, I am Groot.
I am Groot. Thank you for my $5 million.
Yeah, it's the best role he's ever played.
However many million. I bet you it's at least a couple million.
He's
fucking
speaking of millions, did you know that you might have mentioned this in your little roundup? Of course, Invisible Man finally crossed 100 million domestic or worldwide. I mean, 100 million worldwide. Not bad for.
I did not. Thank you for listening, but good to know.
$7 million film, $100 million worldwide.
Very nice.
What a return that is.
Parasite is the biggest foreign language film in the UK.
Yay.
Box office news for you.
Good for you.
Speaking of Thor, Love and Thunder, Tessa Thompson says Christian Bale's going to be the villain.
What?
That'd be pretty dope ski.
I can't wait because he's going to play who he is.
He's just going to be just a shitty actor. Not a shitty actor, but an actor who has a shitty attitude.
Yeah. He's just going to be, I'm walking in this scene.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I get it. You got thunder. Big fucking whoop.
Yeah. I would love to hear him say that. That's just that got me. I loved it. Thank you.
Hey, Dutch, you like that Lost in Space series on Netflix?
Yeah, I heard they've gone one more time.
One more, and that's it, baby. Season 3 will be the ending for that.
I have not finished watching it yet, so I've seen the first season. I've not watched the second yet.
The director of The New Mutants, Josh Boone, says they never shot remakes or reshoots, so what we're getting is probably what was shot. So, which is kind of good, I think, in a way.
For New Mutants, right? You said?
Yeah, that's what he says. Like, as far as he knows, like, the cast and, like, no one has said that they ever did those reshoots, and supposedly they were trying to make it, lighter or whatever the problem was that we haven't seen this thing 2 years ago.
I have a question for you, Jordan.
I might have the answer, I might not.
Did you know who wants to do a fourth movie?
Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop.
He's lamenting. He wants the fourth movie for some reason.
Michael J. Fox, Back to the
Cal
Future.
Penn wants another Harold and Kumar.
Oh, okay.
He wants the fourth one. He's saying, I want it. I'd love to do it. I think they should be able to because everyone else seems to be free. Everyone. They bring back, what's his name again?
All you really need is them two, and you could do a plot without anyone else. I would like to see David Krumholtz and then Eddie K. Thomas back, but
can you bring?
Or is it Thomas Eddie Nicholas? No, Eddie K. Thomas.
You can bring back Neil Patrick Harris as well.
Oh, that is true. If you do a sequel, you do have to have NPH in it. I forgot. Well, I was just saying, everyone else is very superfluous to a large degree, outside of John Cho and Cal Penn. And I would imagine they do it if the studio backed him, gave him some money. I don't see why not. I recently bought the second one for $1 at the Dollar Tree. That was fun.
Yeah, you know what we didn't talk about. I know this is not on your news schedule. This is not on my news schedule. But I remember we were both sitting out the other night talking about Mulan. We were talking about Mulan because we saw the poster. And then these teenage girls who just came out of My Hero Academia came out, and they were looking at Mulan, and they're like, we ain't going to watch this. Remember that? They said, we ain't going to watch it. And they're like, why aren't we going to watch it? Well, because they don't got the dragon, and they don't have this, and they have another deal, and they don't have the love interest. And all of a sudden, the girl goes, oh, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, wow, what a sheep. You know what I'm saying? Just one of the girls in this clique said, we're not watching this. And everyone else was like, give us a real reason. And to me, that's still not a reason. But I don't know why. I just popped in my head, Mulan, and these cliques, that it just happened, why it might not be successful. I don't know, but I'm going to watch it. You're going to watch it. Actually, looks a lot better than the cartoon. So, and
in your opinion,
but as you said, it was during your generation this cartoon came out. But even with the corrections, it looks good to you. So
I don't mind to go to a different direction. I got the cartoon.
Yeah.
I got the dragon. I got Eddie Murphy's voice already. If I want it, let's do something differently with it. Just like Invisible Man. If you're gonna do it, cool. Do something different. I got no problem with that.
That's true. There we go. Also, Vin Diesel has stated that F9, we all know what F9 is, Fast and Furious 9 won't be delayed because of the coronavirus. They're not playing chicken like the old No Time to Die. You know, I'm sorry. I'm still upset about that. No Time to Die being postponed until
My
November.
Spy,
Please.
Peter Rabbit.
Well, you know why? Okay. My Spy has been postponed to April 17th. Now, we posted an article on our Twitter page, and in regards to it, it makes sense now that I read it and I went through it and I was looking at it because Trolls was supposed to be out that weekend. Now, Trolls has moved up to cover the James Bond spot. So now that James Bond's left, Trolls moves up to that week. And then, therefore, they thought STX, the producers of this film, said we could probably make more money on this film because there's not another family film coming out, and that'll give us at least a week or two gap between Trolls coming out, so they could make a little bit more of a cash. I can see where they're doing it because this week is pretty heavy, a little bit with a big blockbuster-ish film, Bloodshot coming out with Vin Diesel. So. Do you have anything else? Before I can.
Yeah, I got a big one for you.
Oh, tell me, my friend.
Just try to give some respect to a fallen actor here, Max von Sydow. Unfortunately, has passed away. 1929 through 2020. Yes. Oscar nominated for Pele the Conqueror, a rare feat for a non-English film. Was being made from Swedish cinema, especially rare back in the day. A second nod was more recently in Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close. You may know him as Father Marin in The Exorcist. The power of Christ compels you. His character, fun fact, 80 years old, even though he was only 40 at the time. You've seen him in many things. Minority Report, Shutter Island, Flash Gordon, even Star Wars The Force Awakens. He was on Game of Thrones as well. So just RIP to him. Fantastic actor. Incredibly Loud, his second nomination, Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close. I believe he even played a mute character and got nominated based on that. And always a fun character actor that popped up. Minority Report, he's fantastic in it. You find out some revelations about his character. So definitely a big shout out to him. RIP to Max von Sydow. Definitely will be missed. But you have a huge line of cinema that we can always look back on. Yeah. As we see here, a clip from the fantastic, of course, original OG Exorcist.
Yeah, The Exorcist scared me as a kid. Still gives me the creeps watching it. I mean, it's not a very fun film to watch as a child when you're like 6 or 7, but mom and dad didn't care, it seemed. But they just let me watch it. Same with Shining. They did a lot of things that were crazy. Well, the power of Christ compels you, and that's what that is. And right now. He hasn't been doing much, as you know, lately, but he's a very good actor, and we'll miss him. So, anything else you got for me, buddy? Any new movies coming out this weekend? We should
absolutely, like you just said, if you're going to go to the cinema this weekend, really get the opposite of movies if you want. You can see the bloody Bloodshot. Vin Diesel is maybe being toyed around with Guy Pearce and is sent to do different missions, and maybe he's starting to catch on to them. Superhero action flick. I like the comic books. Didn't love the trailer, but we'll see. Then you got The Hunt, the delayed Hunt. Was supposed to be out in September of last year. Yeah. We're finally getting it now in March. Lots of people. The girl from Glee, Glow. Betty Gilpin. Also Ethan Suplee, Hilary Swank.
There you go. That's the horse lady.
Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny. Big cast here. Yeah. Looks fun. Looks like an R-rated Hunger Games with a little bit of a political edge. Yeah. Whatever. I think it's going to be fun, pulpy, passable entertainment. Yeah. Then finally, the I Still Believe is also coming out. That review don't expect from me. You watching I Still Believe?
I have somebody.
Do you believe?
I have somebody going to watch this film, and they're going to tell me if it does cross the line where I don't like to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like a lot of gospel in my movies. If they go heavy-handed,
I'll stick with the bloody ones. So we'll probably have reviews for you for Bloodshot, The Hunt. Spencer Confidential's out on Netflix with Mark Wahlberg and
I've heard
Brian Tyree Henry. I will try to have that review for you.
Things already from some people that I know. They said it was a very good action film. So
I haven't heard anything, to be honest with you.
So I heard it's an action film. So okay, I'm in.
No, I'm saying it's on Netflix. So I'm sure I'll try to. I wanted to get that this week. Didn't get around to it.
I still want to see Troop F, I believe it's called, or James Gaffigan and
Troop Zero.
Troop Zero.
I might have that. Jim Gaffigan.
I've been trying to get to it.
I see Allison Janney's in it, so that's cool.
There's a lot of good casting in that one, so it'll be fun to watch.
So maybe next week as well. We'll have a top 10 that Dizzle will put together at the last second.
Are you in town next week? Are you?
I'm in town.
Okay.
I've canceled Europe.
You canceled Europe.
Yeah, I don't want to sit in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Well, there could be worse places to sit for 2 weeks.
They've
right?
refunded everybody, so I'm.
So you're
happy
good
with
then?
that.
Okay, at least they gave you the full dollars back. That's good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go Disney instead?
Whatever they want to do.
I'm just
whatever.
messing
I
with
got
you.
these guys for the rest of spring break. So whatever.
That'd be
Well,
fun.
Sunday, you'll be at CalusaCon.
That's right.
Featuring RBW. Featuring Bob Orton Sr.
What?
Trying to get him in the ring. Hopefully hit some of us with that cast of his.
Oh, he's gonna be around, eh?
Yeah, but no promises because he's not directly affiliated with us.
No, he's not. And he's a legend, so who
We're
knows
gonna
what the legends are allowed to do.
We'll try.
Anyway, for me, I'm Dutch McAllister. That is right there on the big screen. Jordan Purist Owens. And then on that screen right there, that's the big guy, the big Dizzler.
I love you, baby. Great show.
And I want you all to have a great day. And remember,
Just remember.
don't overreact to the coronavirus. As my president, as our president, not my president, but our president of the States has said, there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Just don't overreact like when you found out it was not David Hasselhoff,
Yeah,
but
what?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel
No,
Jackson.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
we went over this already, Dutch.
I'm getting better at it. So take care.
6.8. Is that what you gave them?
No.
Tonight,
You gave me an
Try to
8.
bump that up a little bit.
we are young, so let's set the place on fire.
We are yum.
We can go brighter than the sun.
Okay, that's good. Good night, everybody. God, help us
We
all.
are young,
Dear God.
so stop recording.